everybody, it's Gigi with Gigi's Kitchen, and I just wanted to come to you today bringing you a video on my onion seasoning mix. So I'm also going to bring you something that I use that for, because I've sold lots of these onion seasoning mixes and people always ask me, well, what do you do with it? And so here I am to tell you. Okay, so I use this onion seasoning mix on several of my dishes. I use it in my meatloaf, I use it in my pot roast. The other day I made some homemade pasta and I put the seasoning mix in the water and it flavored the pasta. It was kind of like a little oniony flavor. It was really good. You can use it in really anything. There are all kinds of ways that you could get creative with, and then if any of y'all do get really creative with it, I would love to hear what you did. Let me know so that I can try and make my pot roast. And I don't know about y'all, but you've been to the restaurants, you know how expensive food is. It's a little bit crazy. And so cooking at home is not only cheaper, but it's healthier. And so it's a really good thing to have, especially a dish or two that is really good for, like, if somebody's sick or if you're having company, or you know that you have a go-to recipe. Oh, let me turn this light on. Okay, so this is one of my go-to recipes. Okay, I'm having company tomorrow night. I have to go to work tomorrow, and so I'm going to cook this tonight, not only to show you, but also because tomorrow when I get off work, I don't want to have to cook a big meal for everybody that's coming, right? And so what I do is I get my roast, okay? With your beef, I don't do this with chicken or with pork, but when I have beef, I lay it out for about an hour or so to let it warm up, okay? If you take your meat straight out of the refrigerator and you put it straight into the oven, it's not going to be as tender, okay? So just let it lie out like maybe an hour. I really wouldn't go over, like, I don't know, an hour and a half or so, because you know you obviously don't want to just let your meat hang out, right? Okay, so I normally cook this in the Instapot. It's become my favorite way to cook this roast because it's fast. But I have 3 roasts here, which I normally don't cook 3, but I'm gonna have company. And so I actually have my crock pot and my Instapot, because you actually can use an Instapot like a crock pot. The good thing about that is that you can cook your food, or you'll put your food in the containers the night before. So in the morning before you go to work or wherever you're doing, you can just pop them in there, turn it on and go. All right, so that's the good part about the crock pot. I don't normally cook this in the crock pot, but sometimes with timing, you have to adjust your strategy, right? And so if you cook it in the oven, if it's about a 3-pound roast, cook it on 300. For about 3 hours or so, and check towards the end. You want to make sure that you don't run out of water. Okay, so I take my knife and I'm just going to poke holes in this. I don't really know if that does anything. It's just something that I've always done. So I'm going to tell you. Okay, so if you want to make your own gravy, you're going to I just get white flour and dredge it in that. I don't do that because I use brown gravy packets, okay, because that's what my husband likes, and so I'm not going to worry about doing that. So since this one is a little bit bigger, I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 in this crock pot, 1 in the Instapot. Put this over here. Okay, wash my hands real quick. Just give me a second. You really should do a better job of washing your hands, okay, whenever you're cooking. Okay, so you you let it warm up, you put the holes in it. Then what I do is I kind of cheat, okay? You can buy a big bag of potatoes and peel them, chop them. That's probably going to save you some money. Same thing with the carrots. It's gonna be cheaper that way, okay? But I don't like to do that because, like I said, I work. And so I just buy a bag of baby carrots. Now I normally don't buy this many, but since I have more roasts and more people, then that's what I do. Okay, so I'm just gonna put half and half, just dump it in there. And now I have a bag of potatoes, and they're just the little small ones, little bitty small potatoes. I probably should have bought 2 of these, but I didn't. But they're just the little baby potatoes like this. Now you really should run some of these. I know my mom's hopefully watching, And so I'm gonna say that you should really wash your potatoes, but I don't always do it, and I haven't died yet, but you really should. And so I'm gonna do that just really quickly, just rinse them off. Some people like scrub them, and that's probably a good thing, okay, but I'm gonna do that. Okay, so they're rinsed. You put half in here, half in here, and if you know I wasn't demonstrating this to you, it would be even quicker. This is a very quick meal to make, okay? And like I said, it's going to save you money if you're taking a meal to someone. My goodness, if you're having to feed their whole family, like let's say there's even 4 people, you know how much that's going to be if you go to a restaurant, and people really do appreciate home cooked food. Okay, so I have some onions. I already sliced these before the video, but you could even use pearl onions if you didn't want to mess with that, and it would be even faster. Okay, so we're just going to put those in, easy peasy. Okay, so here comes the good part. This is the onion seasoning mix. Now I have mine in a bowl, but I sell these in a packet because here at the house, I have my stuff in mason jars that I use everything that I sell. Okay, so this is the onion seasoning mix, and you are just going to sprinkle that over the top, okay? And that's it. You just sprinkle that on, and then I'm going to fill them up, maybe just past the meat or 3/4 of the way with water. And of course, because I'm mixing them tonight, I'm going to actually put these in the refrigerator, and then in the morning before I go to work, I'll just pop them in and turn them on. So when I get home from work, they will be ready, okay? And my company will be here, and I'll just be like, well, here's some food, you know? I serve these with deviled eggs. That's what I usually cook when I make this meal. And also I serve these with my grandma's yeast biscuits. And I have another video that I made demonstrating how I make those. I sell those as well, and they're really good. I really do serve those with these because like I said, I eat everything that I sell. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. It was very hopefully fast. You can see that it's not going to take a long time to make this, and that's one of the reasons why it is a go-to meal for me for company, or if I'm taking it to someone, because it really is that easy. You just take your meat, put holes, put in the carrots, potatoes, and onions, some onion seasoning mixed water, and you're done. I mean, it's that easy. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that I have given all of the information that I wanted to give clearly to you. I made some notes, and of course I didn't. Okay, so after watching the video, I realized there were a few things that I didn't say that I really wanted to, and so I wanted to come back on and tell you to buy a chuck roast. Okay, I know that there's other cuts of roast and a lot of people buy them, but for me in this recipe, I just prefer a chuck roast. And so if you cook the chuck roast in the oven, be sure I cover it with foil, okay? Because that's just how I cook it, and a lot of y'all may know that. I don't know, but anyway, I just wanted to come back on and tell you to put foil on it, buy a chuck roast. And also I wanted to clarify, because in the video, I did say to warm your meat up, and that is really important. But when you're cooking it like I am tonight, where I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, obviously it's going to go straight from the refrigerator into the crock pots to cook for the day. And cooking it that way, the shock of, I guess, from cold to hot is not going to be as bad, because, you know, the crock pot cooks not really hot, and so it's not going to be quite as shocking, but I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of that for the convenience of it cooking while I'm at work. Okay, but when I talk about warming up the meat, that's what you're going to do if you're going to cook it right after you put it together. Okay, so if you're putting it in the crock pot, you're really not going to have to worry so much about warming it up, because it's just going to go right back in the fridge. And I just kind of wanted to come back on and explain that. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope everything else was clear. So also the sun on my face, I was like, oh my gosh. But you know what? I'm doing these videos after work, and I don't have a lot of time to make them. So whatever they are is what they are. So anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.